on the East Coast, and we're doing a live financial model build. I'm going to do these every week. Well, I might not do a full financial model every week, but I'll do something. Today is going to be for a driving range, and I had a request from a guy that built or bought a golf course model and wants a driving range. So I've never run a driving range, so I'll have to look up all the logic that we're going to need, and we're going to start building it. I don't know if I'm going to finish the whole thing on the live stream, but I plan on finishing the model today, hopefully. So I have a basic shell that I put around most models. It has to do with cash distributions and um, uh, distributions, visuals, but what's different in every model that I do is the revenue and expense assumptions. And so that's where we're going to start because that's the most interesting, I think. So revenue assumptions for driving range model. So first off, the timing, we're going to go out to 10 years. One, two, three, four. Now, normally I'll do a startup financial model for 5, but I feel like a driving range model you need to go more. It makes more. It's not like you're a startup where you're like trying to build it up and then have an exit. Usually, if you're starting a driving range, you're probably going to run it for a while. But I'll make variability in the exit month so you can have it set up so you do exit at any time. Um, 10 years, we'll do put in a control tab. Uh, right now, I really just need to know the start year. Say we're starting in 2021. We'll make everything that's editable is going to be in blue text with a light yellow. Okay. And we'll put our timing in here. It's going to be up to 10 years by month and year. So, date. Well, it's 2021 to 2030. Okay. So, what are our main drivers of the model? Well, that's something I'm gonna have to actually look up. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but driving range, uh, revenue types. Um, okay, no, you guys can't see this, so all right, that's fine. So driving range, passive income with a driving range. Let's see what this says. Certain driving range. And I try to use common sense with templates because everybody's going to have probably specific things that they want to do, but I have to try to build something that's usable for everybody on some level, and then they can modify it like as needed. Um, So one thing we're definitely going to do with this is account for the purchase of the land and construction, which now if you're buying an existing driving range, you don't all you have all you'll have is a purchase price, which will be possible to define in the startup costs, but you also might have construction and you're building a brand new thing on land. So you got to buy the land, build it, and then you might have debt, but we'll get into all of that uh, in a bit. Right now, I want to know the revenue drivers. So let's see here. I said token machines. So a lot of people do. I think this is a good idea. It's going to be basically a booth for people to put in tokens, so you don't really need employees. So let's see. So token machine, golf ball dispenser, $5. I'm thinking we're going to have some kind of capacity percentage. Let's see. The only employment, you have to pay a mower, some maintenance. Uh, so the big expense is the land. Yeah, that makes sense. So startup cost, it looks like, whatever the land is going to be, you've got to get a ball retriever. They're saying that's 5,000. Dispensers 5,000, token dispensers 3,000, lawnmowers 3,000, initial investment including $200,000 of land 216,000. We'll all have inputs for all this. Variable costs, the day-to-day operations, $30 a day. I don't know who's property tax, obviously all that stuff. That's not a big deal. At most driving range, basket of balls, $6. Okay, so here we go. So income per golfer, they're saying is based on a basket of balls or golfers per day. You get about 20 a day, paying $6 each. Revenue $120 a day. Am I in the area of the U.S. A driving range can only be open for about 6 months. Okay, that's another important thing is the seasonality and like if it's going to be able to be opened, what months during the year is it going to be able to be open and what's the cash flow for that time? Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good here. So we're going to have let's see, how do we really drive into the amount of golfers? Because we're gonna have. I don't just want to have a number like, in year one there's 5 golfers per day. In year two there's like 35, whatever. I think we can drive the amount of golfers by a different, a more a deeper calculation, and we can do it by slots like because in a driving range you have slots. I know that. And let's say you've got 10 or 15, let's say 15 slots. So if I have 15 slots here, number of slots, and maybe you add on in the future too. So that could be a variable. So number of slots available. I don't know what you call that. Number of driving slots. Okay, so you've got driving slots available. You've got, let's say there's 15. Or no, let's just say 10. There's 10 slots available in a given day. I'm trying to think about this. Hmm. 10 slots. You've almost got to say the average time it takes to go through a slot. Average time. Average time a golfer is at a slot. Because we want to get a maximum capacity, and then we're going to say some percentage of that is used per day to get to the actual number of golfers. So if you got 10 slots available, you're going to say, let's say you have literally a line out the door all day, and so you have people coming in, hit their things, and then as soon as they're done, another person comes in right behind them. Obviously, that's not realistic, but we're going to say that's the max, and then some percentage of that is what actually is attained. Uh, so we figure out like how many baskets that equals. So if you got 10 a day, the average time you're open, or let's say 15 minutes. Well, let's say an hour. See how to do this. Um, let's just look up how long does it take to hit golf balls at driving range. Should hit a small bucket 30 minutes. $15 a week, 50 to 100 balls. Okay, so about a half an hour. So we're gonna say 30 minutes in minutes. Get these grid lines out of here. Um, so 10 slots. Average time a golfer is at a slot 30 minutes. We're gonna assume we're not gonna try and break it up into like different basket sizes. I don't even think that's necessary. We're just going to do an average bucket size of balls, and just do a flat price on that. Um, and so number of driving, uh, total hours open, let's say per, I guess we could do it on a weekly basis. Total hours open per week, and then you get total hours open per month. So let's say if your weeklies, let's say you're open 10 hours a day, and then the weekends you're open for maybe 10 and 5, like 10 hours Saturday, 5 Sunday, whatever. So let's just say it's 50, 65. So 65 hours. So in a month, that is, we don't want to, no, we don't want to do that. We want to go total hours open per day. Let's say on average 10 hours a day, hours open per month is then on average, let's just say 30. So 300 hours a month. And then, so maximum slots available per month would be, let's just convert hours to minutes and then divide that by whatever our thing is. So in minutes, just this times 60, so it's 18,000 minutes. You divide that by 10, which is what we're putting for here. You've got 1,830-minute slots open per month. Now the question is, how much of that is filled on a given day? And obviously, you're not going to have people out the door every single day for the whole month. Um, and actually, let's put average. Yeah, we don't want to hard code the month. We want to actually put another input for days open per month. Let's just say it's 25. So if you're open for 25 days a month, you're now going 25 times 10 hours a day on average, 250. Put all these calculations in gray that are formulas. So at maximum, if you have 10 slots available per day and it takes a golfer an average of 30 minutes to go through a bucket, you're open 10 hours a day, 25 working days a month on average. That's 250 hours a month, 15,000 minutes, and that equates to 1,500 possible buckets that can be bought per month. Now is the easy part, is cost per bucket. So let's just say cost per bucket of balls is, I don't know, who knows? This could be any number, depend on a whole bunch of things. Let's just say it's $8 on average. And you could say people could buy more balls and then that would raise their time of minutes up, but then you would charge more. So what you're looking at here is to change the average time a golfer is there and the price. Those will have some relation. And that should be like an average. So the average time the golfer is there should be dependent on the size of the cost of the bucket, because I'm assuming you would charge more for more balls and then that would take longer. Um, All right, so this is pretty cool. So what does not change over each year is your maximum capacity. What might change is the price. Um, so and you might add more slots. Let's say in year five, you expand out to like 15 slots, driving slots. Um, this average time might change. I doubt that changes, but maybe. So it can, but it probably won't. Um, open hours per day will probably not change over time, but who knows? Um, days open per month will not change, and then these are all based on those things. So, um, and let's say you raise your price over time, you make improvements or whatever. Um, actually, let's put 8, and then maybe in year 5 you go up to like 10 or whatever. The point is, this is a variable. So now you have um, to look at seasonality. So this is going to be a cool part. I'm actually excited. This is a new piece of logic that really is specific to golfing. Like, because what if you have an outdoor golfing range and you're not open in the winter? Or what if you're, in a place where it's warm all year round and you can be? So, also, um, the the percentage of your people you might have more during a certain time of the year. So we're going to do seasonality, and we're going to do month, one. So you got 12 months in a year. Um, let's see, how do we want to do this? This will always be, because this is always going to be month one. I think this will work, but we'll see as I build um, the monthly P&L. We'll see if this works, but I think it will. So really, all we need to know is month of. We're just building a reference here. Uh, we might be able to just have month 1 through 12. Yeah. And so we'll say, how do we want to do this? If you've got, let's say you do this all year, maximum revenue would be you're doing what, $8 per bucket, and you've got 1,500. It's $12,000 a month. Let's say percentage of capacity attained, and then we'll drill down to what that equals on a per day basis. So let's say it's 20%. Your revenue would then be per month 2,400. But let's see, average golfers per day at that capacity would be, let's see, uh, so it'd be 15. You're doing 1,500 a month divided by that's Days open, 25. So that's like doing 60 per day. Let's see, 60. So you have 60 slots per day. That would be the 20% of that. So 12 per day. I think let's rework the math for a sanity check. If you do 12 per day times days in a month, 25. 12 people per day. You have 300 and your price is $8. Okay, 2,400. Yeah, so that's right. So average golfers per day is that number. So you got maximum revenue, percentage attained. Now, why did this go up? 72. Oh, whoops, 120%. Let's say 20%. So this is a way to make sure your we'll do maximum golfers per day to see if what your assumptions are make sense. So you know that this does because 12 a day seems reasonable. If you've got, you know, I want to see if this makes sense for 60. So if I have 10 slots and I have, see, hours open per day is 10. Let's see, this times that by 60. So 600 minutes a day. If we divide that by 30, you get 20 slots. I feel like, yeah, I feel like there's 20 slots, and if you've got 10 slots open, your max should be 200 per day. I feel like. So let's think about what we've done here. Hours per month. Minutes. Might have missed something. Let's see. So we got total hours open per month. Yeah, in minutes. Oh, did we multiply anything by the slots? Let's remove this. Yeah, wait. What did we do there? Yeah, so 15,000 minutes divided by 10. Okay, that's where we messed up. Perfect. So that needs to be the maximum slots available is, let's see. So this is based on open, you got 10 hours open per day, 25. So that's the amount of hours per month. And then in minutes. So if you only had one slot, that's your maximum. We have 10, so we need to multiply the minutes times 10. We're a factor of 10 off. There we go. There we go. 6. So, and let's put this at a different, let's say this was 7. You got 7 slots there. Um, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. All right, this makes more sense. So 7 slots open. Each slot has the ability to do 250 hours, right? Because you're doing uh, every slot is open for 10 hours a day. That's 250 hours a month. Now you times that by 60 to get the amount of minutes, and then times that by 7. You've got the total available minutes is 105,000 per month. Then you do that divided by the slots to get. Wait, now what? Let's see, does that make sense? So you've got this many minutes. See, when you dive into these things, they get more complex than you think. And this is the level of detail I do in all my models for the revenue because I want to really make sure it makes sense and it's a good way to do this. So, all right, where were we? So minutes. If I have 105,000 possible minutes, my max slots available. Why would I divide this by 7? I wouldn't. I would divide this by 30 minutes because every slot takes 30 minutes. We're saying. So, oh, come on, keyboard. Enter. Keyboard's acting up. There we go. Okay. So you've got 3,500 potential 30-minute slots in a month if you have 7. Now let's say we did that, went to 10. Oh, come on. Okay, 10. You're now at 5,000 30-minute slots per month. You charge $8. Your maximum revenue is $40,000 a month. Let's say you attain 20% capacity of that. It gives you 8,000 in revenue. And in reality, so max, let's put this below this. So we got revenue attained. Wait, no. We want max revenue. Max, so that would be having this many per day. $200 golfers per day. And what's going up? The price. Let's just keep this the same. So it's 200 golfers a day. Max. Okay, so now we want to put the actual attained. So that's the maximum if you literally fill every single possible slot of every minute of every day. Let's say you do 20% of that, then you're going to have $8,000, which is 40 golfers a day. And so if you have 40 a day, that's going to be like, if you want to even see further, 40 a day divided by 10 slots, that means each day, every slot is getting 4 people. So average time a day a single slot is used. On average, 4 slots or a given slot in one day. If you let's say we have 10 here, they're all used 4 times a day. And then let's try to back up so it's 4 per day. We've got 10 slots. Oh, come on. 40 golfers, and they're all paying $8 each. Holy cow. All right. I'm advising anybody never get a wireless keyboard ever. This is ridiculous. I've had it with this thing. All right. Well, what did I miss here? Because this is saying $320 a day. Multiply that by the working days in a month, and we're at 8,000. Okay, that's the number. Okay, that is good. That makes sense. I think I think this logic is pretty tight here. I've tightened it up a bit. I think this is an important number. Let's say we increase to 15 slots in the future. Okay. I feel pretty good about this. Now the trick is, so we know our potential revenue per month for each year. Now the question is, how many months out of the year is it opened? Because we need to say percentage opened or percentage capacity. Let's see, how do we do this? Because we can't really say of the total capacity we get, 50% in January or June, 10% in August, because that would then mean the month of we might go over our capacity limits and it might not make sense. So, okay, what we're going to have to do is say of the maximum possible capacity that can ever happen in a month, we're going to have to drive the percentage based on that to get the monthly. So we're kind of doing this second calculation again, but for seasonality. Okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm happy with this logic. It's new. Might have other uses as well. So if we say, um, let's just say it's in the middle of winter, we can call out that other calculation. Say maximum monthly capacity and that would be our maximum is 200 per day. And and here's the thing. Here's the trick. This is different for every year, potentially, if these numbers change. So we actually have to go 1, 2. This is going to be total months, and this is going to be the year. So year 1. See, how do we do this? Uh, this plus 1. So this is the running number of months. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 12 every time. That's the number, and then this is going to be the year, which I think I can do with a round function. So this round up. 1, let's see if this makes sense. 2, perfect. Okay, so this is going to go for 120 months. Now, can we condense this down? Because this is then going to be, the max is going to be different in every year. So we do 200 index, and then you're going to match the actual year with our year up at the top here. And you can see it'll change in year 5 to 300. I'm trying to see if this makes sense. If we can make it any like condense it down. Let's see, because we want to know in any given year how much of the maximum are you attaining in each month. And then that actually means you don't really need this because you're going to be doing over on the capacity. But I'm going to keep this here just so I have a reference right now. Right, yeah, 200 per day. So we're going to say, because I would like, well, here, let's do this. Let's just do, hold on. We could do this much easier. If we have 10 years, we know the max capacity in a given year is this. And then we know if we attain a certain amount, let's say 20%. Expected golfers per day. 20 times 200. So then you can see at what percentage equals a certain amount. And then I don't think we need to go do all this for 10 years. I think that's too redundant. No need for that. This is all we need. And then we need to know over the course of a year what you can do. You don't even need this, that top part either. You just need to know this. We don't need this. We don't need this. Yeah, actually, I love when the logic is complex enough that it makes sense to have to do out like this, but it actually makes a whole lot of sense. So we're going to put capacity attainment assumptions. $16. All right. So let's say so we're going to assume that every year has the same percentages. Like most of your, so let's say you get none in January, none in February, March, let's say 5%. April maybe 10. May is higher, 20. June is even higher. What are we at? We'll make sure we'll put a sanity check on this. So this has to equal 1, which would be 100%. Well, And let's actually calculate it here for, as you put in numbers, you could see. So 60, so we got 40 left. Let's say 25, and then August is, let's say April's 5, 25, 25, 25, and then August maybe goes down to 10, and then 5. Now that could be, it depends on your situation and your research on when your most biggest months are. But we're going to assume whatever this is going to be true for the entire forecast of the model. I'm not going to do a different set of 12 percentages 10 different times. I don't think that's necessary. And then here you can see, you can put in percentages here, um, which would show you the resulting capacity attained per day or the amount of golfers attained per day, um, based on a percentage here. Now, percentage of max capacity attained. Hold on, hold on. So this is, no, this is yeah, percentage of max capacity attained, and in a given year, in year one, 5% is going to be 10 per day. In year 5% is going to be 15 per day. 25% is going to be 50 per day. And this is run off of all our revenue assumptions over here. So this is actually really important to understand. Whenever you put a percentage in here, this does not have to equal 100%. Now that I think about it. No, it does not. This just has to equal, this just has to be some number between 0 and 100% every month. And in year one, you're using a number of 200. But because we're making this variable, like the max possible golfers per day can change over time, you're just going to have to know what your percentages mean, and you can test it out here by just saying, okay, well, if I say June I get 30%, well, in year one, what does that mean? It means 60 per day on whatever slots. You got 10 slots here. But yeah, this is good. Okay, so the given month, we'll take the given month and use that percentage times the max capacity for a given year. So if it's February, it doesn't matter what year it is, it's going to be 0. In March, it's going to be 5%, and that could be 5% of whatever number. It depends on what this max is for the given year. And I think that makes the most sense to do seasonality and have all these other variables. Yeah, this is good. This makes sense. Okay, we're going to get to the fun part here shortly. Now, I don't know if we need this now, because we've now just replaced that. I guess you can keep this here for on average. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't, because if you can't go year round, then the numbers don't make sense. So we'll just leave maximum golfers per day, and that's where we end up stopping on the revenue assumptions, and that's fine. Then we have our seasonality, and you're defining of the maximum of a given year, of the maximum that's available per month of each year, what are you attaining in each month? And then you can test out in all 10 years what that means per day by putting in these percentages. And then that's what you would use to figure out your stuff up here. So this is just, this area is just to help the user define row 5. Nothing in these rows 9 to 12 flow anywhere else on the model. It's just to help the user figure out what to put for these numbers, for how much is reached. And it's to have to do with seasonality and the fact that golf, or you might not be able to have the driving range open all year. All right. So now the fun part. And let me pull up another model for reference. Let's see. This is the last model I did. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's the ad network, but put it up here. Take that formatting, put it into here. We're just going to do a light gray. I'm not going to do any colors. All right. And our first month is going to be referenced here. And then what we'll say, let's go out 10 years. We'll have one simple input to define the start month of the model, because you might not be starting in January. Every model I do is formatted like this, where you have a start year and you look at all 12 months of that start year, even if you don't start revenue until somewhere into it, and then it goes um, another, this is a 10-year model, so it goes another 9 full years after that. So when you're looking at 10 years, you're looking at 10 actual years, including the start year's time. If it's not a full 12 months, that's okay. All right, so we're at 11, size 11. Let's go. We'll put in the start month. Which will be, so anything that happens before this month will be zeroed out automatically with the formulas. Oh, shoot, what just happened? I'll also have, as I do more of the full model build, I'll have assumptions for the exit month. What is going on here? Sometimes Excel gets weird if you have two workbooks open, so that's probably what's happening. Let me delete or exit out of the other one. All right. Let's just say it's going to be in March of 2021. No, what is it doing? I need the day, and there we go. So March 2021 is the start. I'll have exit. Well, yeah, I'll do that later. So let's do monthly P&L detail. All right, so what do we want to call out here? We want to call out probably maximum daily capacity What is up with my formatting here? Okay, maximum daily capacity, which is just going to be, again, the year. So we pull out this final number here, maximum golfers per day, and we're going to match, I think it's E2 to this. Yeah, E2 is the year. All right, so we know, depending on the year, the month is, this is the maximum daily capacity. And then we're going to get into the percentage of capacity attained, which is then going to be, you're going to look up the seasonality percentage you put in here based on matching the month that you're in. Match this to this and 0. So we can call that out. And now look over a given year, you can see your percentages, and then you can say actual golfers per day is simple this times this. And then we could say we know on our revenue assumptions it's $8 a golfer and a maximum of 25 open days per month. So we do revenue is simply going to be this times, and I don't know why it changed, but we just have it as a, it could change. So the maximum days open per year. Maybe in the first year you're not open as much. So we'll index that. E2 is our year number with matching that. So then we have our, what are we multiplying? The golfers per day times the days open per month. Total monthly golfers. I like to call out all these calculations because I don't like to put too much stuff in a given row because it's kind of hard to actually understand what's happening if you can't see it. So we've got actual golfers per day, total monthly golfers, which is just that times the days in a month, 1,500. And you can see if you put in 30%, oh no, we don't have it here. If you put in 30% here, well, what happened? This is not right. What happened here? Did I change something on the revenue? Oh, I moved it down for the start month, so that must have messed up. So, whoops, maximum golfers is taking 15. We want 16. Row 16. So you see, if you have 30% capacity, that's 60, and you can see on here our 30% month is 60 golfers per day, and per month that's 1,500. Now we could do simple calculation for revenue. We do another index formula. We're going to bring up index the cost per bucket. Match with E2. So that's the price times the number of golfers per month, which in really this is total. Honestly, you could put this as total buckets purchased in a given month. Actual buckets purchased per day. So you're saying the maximum daily is this many buckets. In May, we're going to do 25% of the maximum. That's 50 per day. And that's 1,250 buckets a month. 50 buckets a day purchased. And we multiply that by the cost per bucket. So that times E9. And there's your revenue for each month. And we just drag all this stuff over. And there we go. We've accounted for seasonality. Oh, we want to say, I forgot about this. I think we do it on the top one. If this month is less than the start month, then just put 0. So now we have and let's say we don't start until, I don't know, June. Now, you can see the seasonality happening. That's beautiful. Here we go. And I'm still going to show the capacity here, but we won't see any revenue until the actual start month happens. I don't want to save this yet. Actually, might as well. Driving range. All right, we've been going for an hour here. Feel like we're doing pretty good. Definitely getting somewhere. So usually this is the hardest, most time-consuming part is getting the revenue assumptions correct. And everything after that's kind of a breeze. Let's just double check all this stuff. So we're down to revenue. Let's give that some formatting. I'm just thinking through everything here. Let's see, 200. Yeah, I think all this makes good sense here. Saying 60 per day, and this we can say average slots used, average driving range, average times each driving average time each driving slot used per day. And then we could do that. We could do, what is it here? 60 divided by your slots up here. So we can get down, because that number we had before, but then I removed that part of the assumptions and we lost it. So we can put that here. And this, I guess could be a decimal. So here we're saying each driving range slot in June is used 6 times per day. This is also a good sanity check to make sure what you're putting in for assumptions is not like insane. Like, so if we use it 6 times a day, and each time takes 30 minutes, you're looking at, 180 minutes for roughly 3 hours in a given day. Now, I don't know if we need to know for the variable costs, we might need to know. Let's look up this again. So, variable cost to run driving range. I'm just curious. Uh, what it costs to set up a golf range. Salary for staff, depending. Yeah, we'll have all that. Maintenance. I just want to see if there's any specific costs that are for like specific to a driving range that require logic. Let's see. Grass seed. Mowing. We already know all that. Oh, driving range mats. So that's going to be based on the number of driving range slots. So I'm just going to make some notes here because I don't think I'm going to go through the process of building all this in front of you guys live, but obviously I'm going to do it for the model to finish it. So driving range mats. I'm just going to copy and paste all of this in here. See if this what makes sense. So the mats, the balls, and I'm going to assume there's some replenish of those. Like I'll look up like the average life of them, and then so there'll be a repurchase. Like we could do some kind of schedule for that. Oh, driving range buckets. So okay, so there's going to be a lot of assumptions for expenses that are related to the number of slots. So I guess you need a certain amount of buckets per. Let's say you sell 2 buckets, or for a given 30-minute slot, it takes 2 buckets for the amount of balls you get or whatever. So there'll be some input for number of buckets needed per slot. It's not a super big expense. A ball dispenser. I don't even know what that does exactly, but it's saying 10,000. It's saying $5,000. What is a driving range dispenser? Um, I don't even know what it is. Driving range servant golf ball dispenser, #1 selling ball dispenser in the world. 10 dispenser models. Oh, okay. So I guess you keep that stocked up. They put in the money, and then they get. Okay, yeah, you're gonna need that. So that's to automate that process, which we do want to do. So you put in all the balls in your dispenser. People put in money, and they get some balls out, and then they go hit them. You filled up at the end of the day with your stuff. Okay. Driving range ball washer, $1,000. So these are all capex stuff. Excuse me. And we'll probably, since these are required for the specific, like this is specific to driving range, we're gonna have to do some depreciation on here to show it because that's gonna be relevant. I mean, it's only relevant. It's not relevant to cash flow. It's irrelevant to your. Um, it's not relevant to EBITDA. It's relevant to pre-tax income. So I think we'll probably include it. Um, T drivers, those I don't think those are just you're gonna have to buy like so it's saying 160 is 3,000. Driving range T drivers. Let's see, are these like reused? Oh, you can get rubber ones. Long lasting. How long do they last is my question. How long do Because I want to know if we have to put in logic to do purchases of that every so often. Have auto T technology, meaning you don't have to change stance between slot shots. Okay, how long do they last? Well, we'll just assume that these are replaced every. They're $160 for one of them, so I don't know why they only put 19 there. If there's 20 driving mass, you need 20 T's. I feel like times 160. Yeah. So they're expensive. I imagine they last for a few years. We're just gonna say those will be repurchased like every. Well, we could probably make it variable, so this will be a variable, and it'll be like every third year. What I'm probably gonna do is have schedules for each of these specific costs, and you could just put like the month. I don't know, I'll figure out some way to do that. Driving range cage cart. So that probably lasts. I feel like that's gonna last at least 5 years. So maybe you purchase two of those over the life. Ball picker. I'll make all this so that when you're putting in the assumptions, it will have options to put in however many times you need to buy all this stuff over the course of 10 years. Oh wait, here's rubber tees for $1. So what is, so they're saying 5 per mat because they got 100. This is a 20 mat version of a driving range. Rubber tees at $1 each. So what is this? Driving range tee. Oh shoot. These are T these are dividers. Okay, so this is to put up in between the different slots. All right, so that's just a one-time purchase. So rubber tees here is only $100 for it. I guess you could probably buy these like I'm assuming you might turn those over. I don't even know, like every month. Um, golf ball trays attached to the mat. Those are maybe done every couple years. Driver range yardage banners. Okay, so they're saying that's a startup cost, but you're gonna have to repurchase some of this stuff if you're doing over 10 years. But I think this is a good base. And there's actually a lot of specific costs related to driving range. So it's good to know. Um, okay, this is good. Um, this is good. I'm going to probably stop the stream. It's an hour and 16 minutes. But you can kind of see where I'm going with this. And then I'm going to build all this stuff out in a nice, clean format for your expenses. And um, we'll fill out all this monthly P&L all the way down to EBITDA and pre-tax income. We'll probably have depreciation in here. Trying to think of anything else. And then I'll do all a bunch of visuals and we'll do like an executive summary, distribution summary. But I can't, like, it might take me another 4 to 6 hours, maybe even longer, and I don't want to stream for that whole time and do this. But you get the idea. And I was actually excited to show people my approach to um, and I had no experience with a driving range before today, like on this. So you can kind of see my approach to how I do to all models and what I do to figure out the best way to do financial forecasts. Uh, all right. Well, hopefully I can finish this before the end of the week, and I'll post it to smarthelping.com. If you guys want to go there and check out, I have a whole bunch of models. HTTPS www.smarthelping.com. And if you do go there, you can see. Is it going? Oh, actually, this isn't showing my. This is only showing my Excel screen. So never mind. But go to smarthelping.com. I've got over 100 models I've done over the past 6 years, all with the same kind of style as this. It just depends on what business it is, though, for exactly how it's going to work. And like I don't know if I said that, but this is going to be $45 one-time fee for this. I've also done a full golf course model, which works. It's kind of similar to this logic, but it's a little bit different. And oh yeah, and I did. I will put in assumptions on this one for your land acquisition and building, uh, and construction. So that will all be in here. Um, all right. Well, that's all I got. I'll see you on next Tuesday, and if I have another suggestion for a model or some kind of logic, that's what I'll get into next week. Alrighty, take it easy.